Andrew Newton, the leader of the Green Party here in the Isle of Man, is joining us, and we've got a few things we want to talk about. I mean, obviously the other day was the budget. Now, last year they were doing the cycle thing and all that, so there was good things there, but I didn't hear anything myself this year. Was there anything that you picked up on that you were good, bad, or indifferent about the Manx budget?
Yeah, I think the Green Party has made a statement which you can find on the website www.greenparty.im, and that statement says, well, it identifies the lack of appreciation from Minister Cannon in his budget for the crucial threat of climate change, and he was keen to emphasise the term sustainability throughout his budget, but then only reference climate change once in relation to mitigation strategies, where we as the Green Party was saying there needs to be a proactive, progressive strategy from the Isle of Man government to address the crucial threat of climate change.
What, keeping up with other countries, or going further, or I mean, you know, what would you like exactly?
Well, there's loads of things the Isle of Man the Isle of Man government, could do, and that's invest in renewable energy for a start. That's what should be doing now. They've given a target of reducing emissions by 2050. However, that's not an incremental target. We need to start right now and start reducing our emissions. There's things like retrofitting houses, and also the general government policy about sustainability. They're proposing to build 5,000 houses by 2026, and the Green Party can't see that as a sustainable practice without introducing all these measures for renewable energy generation and retrofitting houses to reduce, to make them more efficient. And also, if the government's plan is to ultimately run the power station till its end life, 2034, with the proposal, and then import electricity from the UK, that they would say is renewable energy, well, that involves electrifying the economy to make it a fully green economy, because even if reliance on the power station is removed and we're importing green electricity, that only goes to a fraction of our emissions as a society. So we really need to focus on electrifying the economy and making that renewable energy, and providing the structure for things like electric vehicles.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about that side of things, because today in Tynwald, they were recording this, they talk about emission standards as well, and places like Bridge and all of that. And Mr. Boot seemed reluctant to go down that route of putting in some sort of machines, things that will actually keep an eye on those emissions, because he thinks the air in the Isle of Man is pretty good. I think that's what generally he was saying. Your take on that? Well, is it important that we keep an eye on these emissions?
Oh, I think the minister, the department, therefore has a statutory obligation under the Public Health Act to record that data and bring it to Tynwald every 2 years. They should be recording that data the whole time under the Public Health Act.
It was being recorded, but it hasn't been for 10 years or something. And the equipment's very, very expensive, according to Mr. Boot, the stuff that he was using before. So.
Well, can we put a cost upon the health of our environment? For instance, the Newfield report was released today about asthma affecting the UK, and how that is a massive public health issue for society. And we can't just go by and pretend that this isn't happening and people aren't suffering from these health issues relating to emissions at close proximity. And the primary thing we should do is collecting the data on that, and for the minister to say, well, that's not important, that's a dereliction of duty and a lack of care. And the Green Party would say that's a fundamental issue. And
he was getting a fair bit of feedback and comments disagreeing with him, by the way, in Tynwald and that. And Mr. Shimmers is definitely on that case with him. But I think they said there are like 200 electric cars here, but is that good enough? Yeah, I mean, obviously that's still setting the problem upstream if you just charge it up from the MUA's system, of course, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it could be said that the gas generation is better than burning diesel, for example, but we would like to see more investment into maybe the public transport and electric transport, and the Isle of Man government has a great fleet of vehicles that could be transitioned to electric vehicles. We're seeing that with some in the post office, and I saw a report of a BMW i3 being introduced into the Guernsey police force, and that. Right. So the transition to electric vehicles is happening now, and the government needs to take account of that, and also building the infrastructure to give confidence for the Isle of Man population to invest in the vehicles, putting in the charging infrastructure, and transitioning that. And again, we didn't see any kind of announcements from the Treasury Minister as to investments in that regard in his budget. And I think that shows a real lack of identification into the transition. and a lack of appreciation of this strategic challenge of climate change that we should be acting upon now and not waiting on.
So Mr. Cannon needs to listen to you more. Is that what you're saying? I mean, you're the Green Party, so you're looking to take power at some point yourself, are you? I mean, is that where we're going here? Will you work with them, or do you want to do it your way?
Well, the Isle of Man Green Party is here to run candidates in an election and get elected as a government. I'm saying that here, 2021, we're going to run candidates to be elected, and we're going to have a manifesto and a policy document to be elected upon, dealing with these issues, setting out the vision for the future of the Isle of Man Green Party's vision, and hopefully we're looking for the Isle of Man electorate to endorse that at the ballot box. Now, I would look to anyone standing, whether it's the MHKs as independents or whether it's political parties, to set out their statements in advance, not just a brief manifesto, but actually what policies they're going to introduce to bring about a vision for the future of the Isle of Man, a vision that has to take account of the crucial threat of climate change and sustainability for our society.
What are you gearing up for this election then? I mean, it's still some way away. Are you underway now?
Yes, constantly, and members can find out, or the population can find out about the Isle of Man Green Party at our website, www.greenparty.im, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. We are gaining members all the time, and we're building up the policy document now that candidates can take forward to the Isle of Man electorate in the elections to come, and that will set out our vision for a sustainable future for the Isle of Man.